The elements in yoga come from the darshana, from the philosophy of yoga. The two of the six orthodox philosophies in India are Samkhya and Yoga, and they are based on the 25 tattvas, the 25 essences of life, one of them being our soul, our individual soul and the cosmic soul. The elements are part of our manifestation from soul to physicality, and in yoga we use those elements. We use both the subtle essences of sight and sound, for example, as well as the more concrete feeling of the elements. Space, of course, is very hard to feel, but we recognise when we've created space within ourselves. Many of the asana we are trying to create space. So when we lift the arms, the arm lift is about opening the chest and creating space in the chest for the lungs to expand. In Iyengar yoga we talk about moving the structure to create inner space. We're looking to create inner space in the lower abdomen, mid-abdomen, in the chest, in the throat and in the head. Those hollows of our body that hold things. When we create space in those things, we create an awareness of, the akasha, the ethereal. We create a feeling of being beyond ourselves. That's the more spiritual aspect of it. To create space, we need boundary. And boundary, as an element, is earth. And I'd like to show Trikonasana to that effect. Earth is also our contact with the ground. So anytime we work on the basic foundation of an asana, we're working on the earth element. So the touch of our hands on the ground in Adho Mukha Svanasana. When we're working with the earth element, we're broadening, opening. The other way that the elements come into our being in yoga is through the pranamaya kosha. In the Upanishads, we're told that our earthly incarnation comes about through slow processes from the spirit, from the soul, into this physical matter. And that's where the elements come in as well. There's space, air, fire, water and earth. Prithvi, up, tejas, vayu and akasha. They're the Sanskrit names for those. They have aspects in all asana. For instance, fire is part of our mind or our willpower. And willpower increases when we get determined to conquer our fears. So a conquering of a fear may be that when I learn Adho Mukha Svanasana, down-faced dog pose, I then develop that into Adho Mukha Vrikshasana, handstand. Firstly against the wall and then secondly without the wall. That takes some time and it may not ever happen, but it's about creating the aspect of willpower over matter. Willpower over matter is a big aspect of yoga, and we use a fire element. So willpower is represented as the fire element in us. When we slow down our thoughts, we slow down the air currents in the body. The air currents are the nervous system and thought itself. So as we slowly decrease thought and increase focus, we're balancing the air element with the water and earth element. In Iyengar yoga we talk about three small aspects whenever we go into a pose and come out of a pose, and that is the anchor point, the holding point and the stretching point. If we didn't have an anchor point, we didn't have a holding point, we would just be moving. There wouldn't be any holding. So those holding points are the earth element, and they offer the boundary of the body, a position to create inner space as compared to moving with outer space, not in literal outer space, but the empty space of our room. The reason why we're having a longer 5-day immersion format is to explore in more depth each of the elements. Roughly we can spend a day on each element, but they're so interspersed and they feed off each other so much that you can't really isolate one from the other. But we can focus on first day earth and subsequently work up to akasha or space. I'd like to have in those days some lecture format so that we go through the notes that describe the earth element in more detail and describe the water element, etc., all of them in more detail. There'll also be a short summary of which chakra they work with, which vayu or prana they work with, which is their major focus for asana, pranayama, and which is their major focus within the body as well. So it's more detailed, and it will have a theoretical component to it.